Hi everyone, Happy New Year, welcome to 2023, and this is Knowing Who You Are, first show.
Yeah, so Happy New Year to everyone, welcome to 2023, and yeah, as Esther said, this is the first show of the year, and the live stream, I would say, and we have decided, well, I have decided firstly, because there will be some changes going forward, you'll see, and which will start from today, quite surprisingly for you. But let me tell you so you don't get too surprised what's going to happen. So what's going to happen at some point during the show, we'll take a break. And Esther would, at the time, she has to do something else. And she would love to. And it was quite a surprise for her, to be honest with you, that the live stream would happen. But I thought that since it's a day off that I get to stay at home today. So I would rather do the live show, because there are a lot of things in terms of the podcast I have planned. I've been telling you about this one every time I come on screen, but then sometimes I fall behind and I cannot catch up. So this is one of the plans among many other things this year, that we'll do the live stream. A lot of new interviews will be coming up, and I'll be very proactive with the live stream. So if I'm not doing it, you can always text me, message me, and saying that, where is the interview, where's the live stream? You can always push me. But going forward, you might see probably a bit less of Esther, because during the live stream, it's a commitment and it's a pressure for her, because she has her own schedules and other things that she likes to do. And not that she doesn't love to be with us.
True.
But everyone has their plans and also their vision, their goals. So she needs to catch up with those. And I'll catch up with mine. And even though she'll be helping me and the podcast from background, and because all the graphics and a lot of the editing she'll be doing. So yeah, that's a little bit of a rundown. And in the meantime, Syra Akram, Happy New Year. Selena Ray, what a surprise. Yeah. Because I remember Selena said, because she posted a picture of a book yesterday.
I saw that, yeah.
Atomic Habits, one of the amazing book, bestseller, and it's a perennial classic now in terms of habit building for that kind of book. And it takes into consideration all kind of psychological aspect of it and how neuroscientifically our brain works for a habit. So yeah, when I congratulated her for buying or making the purchase, she said, we'd like to see you guys. So yeah, here we are.
And the other reason that we decided to do it this way is because we don't want the podcast to be held up by either me not being able to be there because of other work commitments, because we're trying to figure out what can we do so we're both there all the time, and it just won't work. So in this way, the podcast itself is not slowed down, because really in the end of the day, the one that has to impart most of the knowledge and most of the stuff that's going on is you. And that is, we can change the whole podcast to graphic design and art and everything else.
Very valuable contribution.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that I don't.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that
I agree, and people would agree as well.
I just didn't want to slow you down.
I'm quite worried if people would be okay to see me for an hour or whatever time it takes on screen, because, our
the entertainment,
the beauty and the brain both are living at the same time. So
that's very sweet.
Yeah. So also let's talk about, I was thinking today we should talk about what we are planning ahead. I'll share with you what my plans are, and I'll keep you updated. There are a lot of things, and this year already feels that all the plans are chock-a-block, and I have quite a bit of interesting time coming mid-year. And from that, there will be a huge growth. I am expecting it to be. So let's see what happens. And I'll disclose everything. So let's start with everyone else. And since Esther she should be leaving very soon. So we should ask her. What's your plan for 2023? I hope I didn't put you on the spot.
I mean, first of all, 2022 is very hard to top. Mm-hmm. We got married. We have our
anniversary coming.
We have an anniversary coming up,
for sure.
Moment, but we did some amazing trips. We went to Bangladesh. We went to Holland, places in Europe, Scotland. So we have that to look forward to beat somehow. But for me personally, well, I mean, I've decided to really sort of go into health and fitness and review sort of where we are physically, change our dietary requirements, and I've done quite a bit of study on that recently, just because, we're not getting younger, we're getting wiser, we're getting better, but we're not getting physically younger. So
Yeah, sometimes my beards get a little grayish. So
he
that's
looks
why
like
I
a
try
mad professor when he doesn't shave.
I try to stay clean shaven.
But the main thing is that we decided to just really step up on the health, because if anything, it will last longer what we have, and anyway, so that's one of the things. And the other thing is rolling ahead on my master's in graphic design, which I'm enjoying tremendously. And towards the end of this year, I've got some plans in that particular area. Most importantly, I want to become freelance, so that becomes a completely self-sustained thing. But in the meantime, I've got some other stepping stones before that happens. So that's for me. And otherwise, just every day learn something new. Every day, appreciate and recognize that, I'm grateful for what I have. And I think if every day I keep advancing myself that way, then, it's going to be another fabulous year.
Yeah, great. I mean, to be honest with you, same for me. When at the end of the year, 2022, when I look back, I was thinking so much has happened, and really it was the year when the podcast and everyone's support and everyone around us really gathered. But unfortunately, suddenly I took up so much on my plate that I got a little overwhelmed towards the end of the year, and that's when the podcast it sustained a little bit of dent, I would say, since we couldn't be that regular. So I will disclose my plans for this year, and I have a lot of plans. I'm really motivated. To be honest, I felt motivated even from Christmas Day. I couldn't wait for this year to start, because I was feeling like, okay. Because sometimes the mistake we do, we say that, okay, on the first I'll start. In the meantime, I won't. But my thing was that I was doing already quite a lot of, I had this positive mindset, and also quite a lot of trying to be productive. But then it wasn't that hard for me to pick up everything suddenly. But I'll say that things that I want to do, I want to be more regular and more mindful about. And probably I can spend time more wisely, so I can make time for the things that I want to do. So, first of all, Saira Akram Samal, she said, you read it.
Oh, no, Esther, you can't leave. I object. I'm sorry.
I mean, she's not leaving.
I'm not leaving. I have another commitment that I have to do today. Yeah. And I'm literally here now to make sure that you all know I'm not gone.
Yeah.
I will be coming
back. And also,
back.
it was my thing that beginning of the year, to start. I just didn't want to do it on my own. And that's not the start I want for the podcast for this year.
It's not.
So that's why she's here. And also, she's not leaving.
No.
It's just she won't be that regular. That's the thing. So she feels very relieved, I'm sure.
No, not at all. Well, I'm relieved that we can work it out this way. So so I'm not stopping the podcast, because the podcast is important.
I mean,
very
that's
important.
One of the reasons as well, to be honest, why we had been a little bit irregular, because sometimes I found that our schedules didn't, I wouldn't say, how should I put it? Align. Yeah, that's the word. It didn't align as I wanted it to be. So there had been times when I waited, or she wasn't feeling well. She didn't feel like coming on screen or doing a show, because it's a mindset thing as well. Because I have been on live TV show for many years, and I knew there had been times when I didn't want to do it, but I had to. And you can literally read it in someone's face. So that's how true. Sometimes we didn't end up doing it. And habit, talking about atomic habits, when you let something build up, our brain takes it as the norm, and then suddenly all the good habits, or sometimes any habit that you have, it can fall by the wayside. It works for the bad or the good both. Yeah. And Sherry has a message.
She says, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, you two and listeners. Sending massive hugs for the most marvelous 2023. Kiss, mwah, kiss back to you, Sherry. And she says, currently in bed feeling sorry for myself. Shocking virus knocked me off my feet. Oh, what better way to feel lifted and join this and hear you too. Well, may I say, I feel for you. I've just come out of 11 days of a horrible virus that knocked me down. Like, I have never actually seen him so worried as how I slept every night at 104 degrees.
The first day was 104 degrees, and I was worried what to do.
It kept going.
And I had to use literally wet rags all night and put on I kept on changing it.
Nursed me back to health.
Yeah.
And then we thought it was all fine. I went back to work for one single day, and then I collapsed again, which was unpleasant. But anyway.
Sherry, I hope
yes,
you
I hope
get
you're
better
well
soon.
soon. I feel for you.
And I'd like to tell everyone, Sherry is a life coach herself, and she's based in Australia, but she also is based in France. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, because they have a holiday home in France as well. It's a beautiful place. And she literally, they built it from ground up.
Yeah.
And Sherry...
she's given some amazing advice and input along the way.
That's what I wanted to add, because Sherry is like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Anything that I bring on the table
true.
and I start saying or say sometimes, probably there's a missing link or I didn't mention something to round it off, then Sherry would add to it and also make it sound even better and the advice more approachable for everyone. Not even advice. I mean, I'm not here to share any advice, but most of the time we say that in knowing who you are, what we share is our experiences, be it bad, good, because we learn from those experiences. And most of the times being ashamed or embarrassed of some things that, okay, everyone is having a good time, why am I not having it? So things like that, just avoid. And we all go through that. And I go through it many times. I can share with you, and definitely I'll share. And when Esther is not in the room, no, I'm joking.
You do realize I'm going to watch the show while I'm not in the room, right? Okay. While I'm working.
At least you cannot, do that.
She's saying, "Oh, you two! Right now, I look like icing, all flat and white." Yes. So did I. In fact, I wasn't even white. I was grey and green.
Sherry, where are you? In London, France, or Australia?
I think she's in France. Because I remember from the last podcast, she said she was actually, they'd moved and they were there. Okay. If I remember that correctly. Okay. One thing that we want to do this summer as well is a Knowing Who You Are reunion, since it will be nice and warm. We've decided we're not going to do it at someone's place, but somewhere in a park, like a huge picnic, which we'll do at some point this summer. So we will find out from you when is the best time, but that's something that we're going to look forward to as well.
Okay, so time for everyone. You can either call us, because I'll put the number on the screen very soon, which is there now. So you can share with us your New Year resolution or the plans that you have, or what kind of mindset you're in at the moment. Because I feel for some reason, I don't know, at workplace and everywhere else, even in my personal life and even my life in general, I feel that there's a new beginning. I'm gonna do a lot of things. We feel every time the new year approaches, but this year it's totally different. And I know already things been lined up for this year for me. So I had to prep myself. My mindset had to be there. So I think since I've been working in my head for quite some time, I literally made it as a reality in my head, and I tricked my brain, telling it that, look, this is what it is. You cannot avoid it. So I think, that's how mindset works anyway. So, let us know. Sherry says nice we're in France now. Yes, moved here in March.
Nice.
Oh, so you've been, you've
just
been
back from London.
today.
Oh, from London last night. You were in London.
Oh my God.
Nice. We were there for Christmas and New Year. Best place to be for Christmas and New Year, I have to say. And Sarah is saying, Esther, I'm excited for you on your health and fitness journey. We are, as a family, also decided to focus a lot more on health and fitness. Good. Yeah. And you're still having rice every day, Sarah, since we brought this up the last. Okay. It's very funny.
Yeah, so long it's a little bit. The portion is smaller and brown rice. Yeah. I mean, it definitely helps. So Sarah, we have Sherry here. Sherry, I appreciate that. Sherry is typing and letting us know.
And there's a few more people here.
We'd like to make it entertaining for you, probably, or let us know. We can even be zen and put you, give you some kind of peace of mind, if that helps, because times like that, nothing feels good. But still you're there, you're supporting us. That's a great thing.
Which is amazing.
And so we'd like to hear from everyone what their plans for the new year is and what's happening, and I'm going to share mine, as I said. And you can also give us a phone call. The number is there on the screen, and we can talk about it too.
Nice.
Yeah, let's rise. We changed our diet from December 2022 to give us a head start for 2023.
Oh, that's brave. I couldn't do that. In November, and the last week of November, I put up the Christmas tree. The whole house was turned upside down, and I went shopping, and I bought so much junk. And it was I was like, in the end of the day, thinking, I don't even know how we're going to eat all this. So I ended up bringing a lot of it and gave it away to a lot of people. But I definitely went for I'm going to have marzipan and all the lovely ginger cookies until the last day. And then 1st of January, we're going to go health mad. So that was done.
It reminds me of, because Syra mentioned this one, I think she had shared a story about the podcast she had seen recently, Diary of a CEO. And big shout out, because they invite such amazing guests. It's this recent one they had done on Tim Spector, who's a professor in King's College. And he had written a book recently, Food for Life. Amazing, very popular book. And really, before it was spoon-fed, there's another book very popular. So on that one, he was talking about, I mean, this is coming up because it's recent research. I'm reading a book myself, which is called Psychobiotic Resolution. So it's more about the one I'm reading. It's about the microbes that we have in our gut and how it's connected to our brain and how our mood and everything, it can change, or it can be regulated, or it can be even manipulated to a certain extent through those microbes. So Syra mentioned that one, and I shared that podcast last night with Esther. So it was a light bulb moment for her as well, because many questions you had in your mind about the way recently you're feeling, and you could connect certain things, and definitely. So lovely book. I would ask everyone to read that, and I would because I've started reading it myself, and because I read Spoon-Fed before, and this is one of the areas, because as you know, I'm studying neuroscience. I'm doing my master's. This is my second one. So I felt, and anything that has to do some kind of connection with brain neuroscience, I'm always excited. So that's my new thing. It has always been there, but I find it more, I feel more driven now, because I can add more value to people's life through my knowledge and whatever I'm learning. We have Simon Ahmed, Bhaiya and Bhabi.
Oh, nice.
Simon, after a long
Nice.
time, nice to see you. Food for Life. Yeah, Food for Life is the one. Exactly.
Oh, that's okay.
That's the
Yeah.
new book, Tim Spector's new book, Food for
Okay,
Life.
good.
So it's a hardback, quite a big one. So I hope it's a lot of take it as it comes. I mean, I would say a few pages a day. You have to take a lot of note. It's more like a workbook, I would say. And the book I would mention in this connection, Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk, same thing. That's more about mindset, and it's for practice, positive mindset, and how you can turn around many of the negative habits that you have in your life, how you can drive away negativity from your life, and books like that. But that's like a workbook. You have to take a lot of notes. You can just sit down and read. Such an amazing book. So this one is like that too, but it has a different kind of value. But again, mind and body together, we need to nourish both. So we have a lot of messages.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So let's see. Yeah, you can read that.
Okay, so Selena is saying, if you guys or any of the listeners have any affordable fitness ideas, I'm thinking of something for beginners, and I want to keep going rather than give up after a few. Aha, okay. So let me answer that question first. I mean, this is something that I recently started. Actually, it was more from a point of view of, it's called the Metabolic Exercise Program. And what it is, it's 3 days a week, 15 minutes, but it is very, very extreme, but very, very exact. And you take a quiz, and you first of all decide where's your metabolism at, like where you're at hormone-wise and otherwise. And there's different programs for different types, and then you figure out the one, and then you basically just follow the program. You have to sign up for it, but it's not much. I'm not going to use it here as a promo, because I'll give full specifics on that at another point. But I did this specifically because I personally am of an age right now where hardcore exercise for 2-3 hours would actually not change a great deal. I did it for a while. I felt somewhat good, but the major problem with heavy exercise was I always immediately felt like binging right afterwards. And that's because my body is processing food completely differently now than it did 10-15 years ago. So that's really been good for me, and it's given me it's something that the guy on the video is also like, not like, come on, go, 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 because I was in a ballet academy. I've been pushed hard for many, many years as a ballerina, and if there's one thing I hate, is someone standing over me going, more! Give it up! I can't. I literally feel like punching him in the face. And in this one is just for me, so that's been a really, really good change for me.
And affordable wise, you're saying probably, I don't know what's your routine is or how
Yeah.
you approached it before, whether
Yeah.
you signed up for a gym membership or if you're going to the gym or you're working out at home. There are a lot of tips I can give you because I for one, my habits going to the gym, this is something I'm very proud of in a way that I started doing it when I was even in high school. So over the years, I never stopped it. And now it's almost like, for some reason, probably it's for me, it's like
Well,
religion.
it's a second nature for you completely.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel very down. You'll find me a bit little upset, and I'm not happy. My mood changes if I don't go to the gym. So I can skip a day, but from the second or third day, you'll see I'm changing slowly. But I have taken that one.
Excuse me.
I have really, I think, say for example, festive occasions when the gym was closed and we are supposed to travel a little bit here and there, going for the festive season. And there are times in life as well when you can't. So I have become a bit lenient as well in terms of that approach, that I don't let it go to my head straight away that, oh my God, I'm not going to the gym. But I always feel that when you keep a good habit in, then you can take a day or two off. Like today, probably I'll be taking a day off because it's my day off. So we'll just go take a walk and spend some time together.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to take it. But Selena, please share. You can call, even discuss, or even you can write and share with us what kind of habit you have been approaching or how you are doing your workout routines. And in terms of your diet is a very important thing. I mean, until and unless you take care of that one first and foremost, you can every now and then eat things. Like I try to avoid fizzy drinks, but probably once a week it happens. I take a drink. And she knows that I love it. And we call it a feast. And
Yeah.
we just have everything. But you have to make up for it for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it. And for the gym, same thing, since I know that I'm quite regular with my gym routines, my workout routines, I spend at least 1.5 hours there. So either if I have time during the day before my work, I wake up early in the morning, I go to the gym. And I tell myself it's not really pleasant all the time, but I try to do it because, again, it's a habit thing. And once I come out of the gym, I feel really good. And there's another thing you can do, like I finish work at 5, then by the time I come home 6:30 or something, then I have my dinner. So having a dinner by 6:30, 7 o'clock is a good thing in a way that you create a huge gap between your breakfast and your dinner. So it almost makes it around like 10, 11, 12 hours sometimes, even more than that. So it's the idea of intermittent fasting, so which I've been following for quite some time. And it helps. And then after that, around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I go to the gym. I stay there till 9:30, come home and do rest of the things I need to do and go to bed by 10:30. But at least 4 days a week, but you don't have to do 1.5 hours. You're reading, Selena is reading Atomic Habits. So if you have already started reading it, you know that in that book they talk about taking small chunks, taking the obstacles out of your way. So sometimes when I do when I come back from work, when I'm having my dinner, I change into my gym clothes. Minus my jackets, my shoes and everything is on. And that's how I have my dinner. So I cannot say no to that. I'm already ready. So I try to take as many obstacles, because after work you're tired, and say early in the morning you're tired. So if you take out the obstacles out, it becomes easy. And there are times I used to think before, if it's not an hour or 1.5 hours I don't have in my hand, there's no point in going to the gym. I've given up that idea. I feel like it's nothing, or even this 30 minutes, which is better. So even if you are doing some workout for half an hour, it's better than doing nothing at all and just being grumpy about it that you skipped the gym, you didn't go because you didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So things like that. Let's see. We have a lot of messages.
Well, let me before you read that, because I read them. They're very applicable to what we're talking about. About two different parts of the spectrum. We've got you do big workouts, but you always have done, and you have me who had no energy no willingness really, and no sort of excitement about it either. Like you get ready and you're like, I'm gonna do this, you know, and I'm like, I can't even confront getting into gym clothes. And I think one of the major things that changed was when you said, that's it, I'm gonna get you a gym membership. I'll pay for you, because I didn't want to buy it anymore because I was just wasting it. And when you said that, I thought, oh my God, he's gonna waste his money on something I hate. And it actually forced me to look at what is the actual problem. And so I just started researching what is currently going on, what's happening with me physically, and why am I this way. And then once I knew that, then I found the thing that matched it. And then I invested the money myself into doing it. And also once you've invested the money, then you want to commit, because now you've done it. You've paid for it.
But having said that, many people sign up for it, they pay for it, and this is a common problem that people have. The gym membership. I know one of my colleagues, he has a gym membership.
It's true.
And he doesn't go there. And he maintains. He keeps
but
on
I had the same.
paying by direct
I had
debit.
paid for the gym membership and I wasn't going, remember?
Yeah.
And that was my main thing. But having found the thing that makes sense to me, then I was like, okay, now I'm all in it. Now I'm really excited about it. So...
But making sense, I mean, how you can start doing it if you have... But I think before I throw out more ideas, we have a lot of...
So Sherry said here...
this is more about the resolution
so laughter,
problem.
laughter and more laughter is the energy builder for me. And laughing... Oh, and launching a new program for my clients, which I will practice every day in January. Diluter of the mind? What is diluter? Of mind,
declutter.
Declutter. Okay, of mind, body, emotions, physical and spiritual homes, health by decluttering. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, decluttering is something I'm planning in terms of a lot of things, be it extra clothing and a lot of, say, some books that I have had for many years. Some of them because I have to make space for new books, I would say. And
you have so many books. And then she gives good advice here. If you want something fun and different, Selena, online there are 2. NIA, a mix of martial arts, yoga and dance. They also have live classes around the world, UK, Australia, USA. Body Grooves with Misty is a dance-based online program. I'm currently doing Mind Valley 10X. It's similar to Esther's metabolic workout idea. Short, sharp and intense twice a week. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because no one can say they don't have 15 minutes 3 times a week. So Selena's saying, I don't go to the gym. I'm waiting to start a new job, so it's not always feasible. Yeah, I had the same problem. The only fitness I do is walking and hiking. This is true because we've seen many posts of you doing big hikes. Dancing in concerts, lol. But like Esther said, we are getting older and wiser and want to have more discipline. I don't know if I should start with yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates. My discipline sucks. Yeah, well, I think finding the thing that works for you. In this case, this particular one that I found, I'm like, I won't give up on it because I'm happy with it.
I would like to stress one point here because you ended your sentence by saying my discipline sucks. Trust me, you have to take your mind or yourself as well, beating yourself up for the things that you haven't done. You always have to look for it. Can't keep going back. Say if I skip a few days and I had some bad diet and I keep on drooling on it. Say, for example, my music practice routine had fallen by the wayside. I wasn't that regular for last few months. And I felt every now and then, sometimes I would regret. I said, oh my God, what's happening? I like gym, music, practicing my music. It was like religion to me too. But I have stopped. So this year, this is one of my resolutions as well, that I will keep doing it. And I will practice again because I'll take up some gigs as well, some commitments. So I cannot help it. And I'm already talking to one of my friends in India who wants to collaborate with me to do some shows in London. So we are planning. So yeah,
exciting.
That's just
Selena.
not to digress from the topic. But what I'm saying, when you say my discipline sucks, fine, I understand. We every now and then we can have certain things and certain weaknesses in our character that can contribute towards, like you're not going to the gym or you cannot keep to a routine. But take yourself out of it. Create motivational scenarios for yourself. Say, for example, you're saying you love walking and hiking, and you're dancing as well. That's one way of losing a lot of calorie. But whatever you're doing, just look at it that you have done something good for yourself today. You have had a good meal probably, and then you have taken a long walk. you need sun, and that's very important, be it vitamin D, and also for your circadian rhythm it's very important that you take some sunlight at least 40 minutes a day. So when you're doing those things, just give yourself, say something nice to yourself and be kinder to yourself, saying that, yeah, I've done a great job. And I know we tend to say things like, oh my God, what's happening to me? I'm putting on so much weight. I look so fat and this doesn't fit me anymore. And I don't do this. It's always no, no, no. When you created this negative loop, it really doesn't help. And that's what you find, because our thoughts in our brain, it keeps on recycling all the time. And you start with a negative one. The next moment when it gets recycled, you have another negative one. And it's a huge negative loop that gets built up.
Yeah.
So it's very important. And another thing I would say, because as a positive person, if you want to have positive emotions, it's very important to have a positive vision as well. So if you set your vision that, okay, I'm going to look after my diet, and also you have to, or we all have to learn to say no to a lot of other things as well. You gain something, you lose something. So you have to weigh up the balances. So which is more important for me? Say, for example, I get invited to a lot of social events, but I have to balance my time. Already for this year, many people ask me to attend to a few gigs for performance. So I perform, I go there, but I check my diary. I cannot practically get myself committed to these things. I said no to those things. So things like that is very important. Sherry said, intermittent fasting is great. This is how I have eaten for past 7 years. Wow.
Nice.
Most natural with the rhythm of our own bodies, what they need and how they process. And it's very important that you give time for your body to process. And since we are talking about this Tim Spector thing, what he says, that microbiomes, and they need to do their work as well. And the whole, if you look at it as a machine, everything needs a rest. And your digestive system, if you get it to work all day, you're snacking all day around, and you are eating and there's no gap, and it finishes work, then you give it more to do. So at some point it would get stressed and tired, and you feel that it's like elastic. At some point it will lose the elasticity.
Interesting.
Declutter the mind first.
Yes, before, yeah, makes sense.
And Sherry, any idea how to do that? When you say that, declutter the mind first, and how people should approach and what can clutter the mind. First of all, we should ask what we call the cluttering of the mind, or what kind of practices, what kind of habits or things we do that we can say that, okay, these are the things that clutter our mind. And then from that point, we can think, okay, these are the things are not good for us. So we have to take them out of our life. We have to declutter those things. Saira Akram.
She's saying, I think sometimes people don't go to the gym even after getting a membership is because of the fear of not knowing what to do at the gym with all the intimidating machines. I would suggest getting a free trial from a personal training to get yourself started, to feel confident to carry on by yourself. Yeah, absolutely. If the gym is what you want to do, then that's a good way to start.
And also coming from me, being someone who goes to the gym quite regularly, to be honest with you, I don't know about other gyms. I think people have grown quite friendly. Even people with huge muscles, proper built-up body. We help each other. I've seen this now.
True.
And I've seen people at the age of 60, 70, women, men, they are coming to the gym early in the morning, even in the evening. And a woman probably in her 50s working out next to another lady who's probably in her 20s and with perfect shape.
Yeah.
And everyone is kinder to each other. And if you need help, or if you need even advice, look, I don't know how to do that. You don't need a personal trainer sometimes. Because I have seen many times younger boys probably at the gym doing something, and I feel that even men, they're doing something in a way, I know that it won't give them the benefit, even though they're using the machine. I would just go and say, can I request something, or can I suggest something? If you do it this way, you get this muscle to work, and you need to activate that part of your body. If you do it that way, it doesn't work. I would do it myself sometimes. Yeah, people might. But I don't have any bad experiences. Someone just suddenly reacts in a way. They listen to you. And also, if you need help, I've seen the other day, basically, there was a guy who was doing some interesting stretching, which was very nice. He could do that. And I think he's in his 40s or mid 40s. A young guy went to him and started asking him questions about how he's doing it. And he took his time. He explained the whole thing to him, and they were chatting, and they became friends from the day onward. So it's all about in life as well. I feel like you don't get if you don't ask for it. And this is one of the approaches as well. I mean, if someone you see, I'm talking about all the single men and women out there. You see someone out there, say probably in a cafe or someone, there's another woman or another man. You see, you like them. It doesn't have to be always the man approaching. You like that person, go and ask their name or talk, or if you want to approach in some way, in a decent way, and you might start a conversation. You might get to know that person. I mean, that's how Esther started with me, by the way. Because we were in a chat room. I didn't know her at the time.
Yeah,
but we were part of the same conference.
Yeah,
and
it was an event.
She just started sending me messages saying that, oh, you have this guitar. I love this guitar. And this is how it started. And
shamelessly flirting.
No, that's what I give you always the credit for. Because
it's true.
I wouldn't do that to her. I wouldn't send her a private message. Because normally we have some kind of stigma attached to it. And people will think, oh my God, this guy is a, how should I put it? I mean, I don't have a word for that, but they would think that I have some kind of problem that I tend to chase women, but I would never do this. But it came from Esther. It made my life easier, so we could start this conversation. So I say.
So then I just want to add to that, just as a point. This is not something that I'd ever done before either. It was one of those. I like that guy. I like his smile. That was the first thing. Is like, oh, and he's a musician. It was one of those like.
It's funny. The other day she was saying that I'm so happy that I saw your smile and I complimented on that.
I mean, what a great smile he has on TV, right? I mean, look at this guy.
Oh my God. Anyway, thank you. And Sherry, hey Ershad, great advice. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, telling your mind that your discipline sucks means it will, your brain believes everything you tell it. Your words are so powerful.
I know, it's so true. Absolutely true. And I have to say, my recent stint for going health crazy did actually come about because I'd been so violently ill for almost 2 weeks. And it was one of those like, do I have to get myself so ill to the point where I'm actually going to change something? And so don't wait for that. It's not needed. That was the main sort of like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm still young. I don't have an immune system that should be shot to pieces. Like, this makes completely no sense. So
yeah, this is another thing that I have become, because I work in industry and also with people who are quite younger than I am. And I have seen I wasn't really aware up until this time of my life, of this period of my life, that age is a thing I never count. Even there had been times when people would tell me, Ershad, how old are you now? What's your which birthday is that?
Yeah.
I would have to count it backwards from my date of birth up to now to find out what my age is, to be honest. Because I really don't look at this way, and what I have been doing, or I had been doing since my childhood, I kept on doing it, and I look at that way. I mean, definitely there would be time our body would start showing signs. You would feel in a certain way. It would show on your skin, on your face, your hair, a lot of things. But I never look at that way. And many people have this number. They're like, okay, enjoy your life. Do whatever you can. And at the age of 40, there will be a slump. And after that, it's downhill. Total BS. Yes. So I crossed my 40 quite a few years back. And
me too.
I don't feel anything.
No.
I mean, to be honest with you, I still do the same thing. I'm walking in a park. I see some people are playing cricket. I just jump in straight away. I start playing with them.
Does.
And I dive like Jaunty Rhodes.
Oh my God.
I injured myself, by the way, doing that.
He did. One day before his military Royal Navy fitness test, the young sir decided to, after a run of 6 miles or something, go for, look,
I had a fitness test the next day.
They're playing cricket. Let's join. So for the next 2 hours, he's running around, jumping like he was 20 years old.
I suffered a lot, and I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? Can I pass my fitness test? Because I literally my back was hurting so bad because I jumped too much and let my body fall very hard on the ground.
I had to massage him, Epsom salt baths.
We did. And I passed it, by the way.
He did, of
that
course.
That was because every year we have to take this test.
Yeah.
And I'll speak about what's coming mid-year for me. I'll be away from the comfort of my home comfort of my wife's affection and love and her home cooked food, I'll be away in the Royal Naval College
60 days.
in Dartmoor, for 63 days.
63 days.
And I'll be staying totally out of my house, and that's when I'll be waking up, going to bed, doing my training,
He's
and
gonna
everything.
Be bunking with other guys.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and that's an experience that I'm embracing. So sometimes I feel like when you let yourself go out of your comfort zone, you learn something new, you grow like never before. And this is what I'm looking forward to, which I wasn't before. I was scared, but I've taken it up on myself. I committed to, so my seniors, my senior officers, they already know that I'm coming for that. So even though I have to go every Tuesday for my training, and my unit is HMS President in central London, but I'm going for that in it would be around end of June.
And me going out of my comfort zone is you leaving. That would be me being out of my comfort zone.
No, I know, even for me too.
Oh my God. We don't even know if we can call every day and all that stuff.
No, I think things have changed.
I'll probably do the lives by myself.
But I might be it would be really rude awakening early in the morning at 5 suddenly.
Yes.
And I heard about, there are a lot of surprises.
We've seen the videos of what he's going to go through.
Anyway, but I'm totally getting myself ready for it, physically, mentally. So I feel that come what may, I'll have to do it.
Yeah.
So that's part of 2023's growth. I'm looking forward to it. So this is again for Selena. I'm going to read her comment because she mentioned something, so we would know her situation more rather than saying that. It's I know it's easier said than done, but sometimes we go through certain situations and we know that we need that shoulder to cry on. We need that comfort. But first of all, the comfort should come from within. That's very important. Unless and until you look after yourself and you be kind to yourself, no one else can provide, because someone else can come and put their hand on your shoulder, around your shoulder, and say that, look, everything will be okay. But if you don't believe in that, it's not going to change. But Selena, what she said, let me read. To be honest, I'm going through a horrible time right now and was feeling deeply low, while I know lots of people were very happy at the start of 2023. And that has made me realize even more that I need help and I should focus on that this year rather than forging ahead and kind of putting a temporary plaster on things. True, Selena. Very nice. Well said.
And Sherry actually gave some really nice advice for
Hassan, hi guys, good to see you both back. And
nice.
Saira, wow, Bhaiya, you're such an inspiration. Well done to you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sherry's saying here, so little tips, although it can be longer conversation. 1, journal ideas, feelings and thoughts, get them out to free up space to sleep. Yeah, absolutely. I think we both do that. 2, keep a notebook on your desk, so when you have distracting thoughts while you're working, write them down so you can get back to it later. Very nice. 3, put a timer on your desk. Every 20 minutes it goes off. You take 5 minutes to respond to interruptions, have a drink, etc. Then set a timer and go back to work. 4, mind map. What makes you sad, angry, tired, happy, overwhelmed? Any emotions that adds to your cluttered mind, work on. Nice. Work on 1 emotion per mind map. After that, with the goal of moving out of the way of the mental stuff that overwhelms you. There are many, many more, but here are a few ideas. Keep going. Could you just scroll down? Because I always turn the screen off when we do that. There are many, many more, but here are a few ideas. Then laugh for at least 5 minutes just because you can. Get out of your comfort zone every day just a little bit. This helps declutter your mind. Surprise the people you walk past and make them laugh. Also, you're helping them declutter their mind for a short while also. That's nice. I like that.
Very great tips. I feel like I'll take
really
a screenshot
nice.
of that.
Yeah. We should and post it. Absolutely.
Because journaling, what she said, and there's a very interesting how someone, I forgot her name, but she said that it's like a spiritual windshield wiper in the morning. If you do it in the morning, say you don't have to do any editing, you don't have to write in proper grammar or however you feel like, you just write it down. So put it on a piece of paper. So first of all, you're offloading and it's getting out of your system. And then, as she said, that when you get back to these notes and you can see that state of mind, and also when you see everything written, because it clarifies many things for me too, it clears up my mind as well. There are times after a long day, I normally do it at the beginning of the day, journaling. But if I can't do it for some reason, I'll do it probably end of the day. Say probably I had a bad day or something is bothering me. I'll write it down. I'll try to, and I find that analysis always helps. And when I look at that and I feel, okay, this is why it happens. So I have to avoid that, or I have to be proactively doing something else, or do just to find a solution for this problem that I'm facing at the moment. And in terms of getting out of your comfort zone, as Sherry rightly said, decluttering. And another thing that happens, it's a magical thing, you get motivation. When you see that, oh, really? I'm capable of that?
Yeah.
And you feel so good about yourself. So say, for example, Selena, that's why I said that. Start doing small things and tell yourself and say, bravo, Selena, you have done this today. So you have walked. And first of all, a good change has to be from the diet. Trust me, there was this book I'm reading. I was talking about this. Psychobiotic Revolution. So my mood, food, and the new science of the gut-brain connection. So it's a very important thing. It's a cutting-edge research now. Everyone is talking about it because there's a direct connection. What you're having. So if you every day you get up and McDonald's is your lunch and probably your dinner, not your, I'm saying, but anyone.
One, in general, yeah.
So then you're having fizzy drinks, and it will slowly kill those microbiomes and those. We are talking about this gut-brain connection because it's connected to those microbiomes. And when you start killing those microbiomes, and since it has a connection, the psychobiotic revolution, this book mentions those microbiomes that are connected directly to our mind or our brain. Because we used to think that everything happens from here, but it happens from here mostly. Even when you're eating, you feel full. Even when you're eating, when you feel that, okay, you're hungry, you need to eat more. Everything, this message comes from here. So if you start taking care of your diet, look after that, that's a good place to start in terms of changing your mood as well. Because even though I'm saying, Selena, yeah, feel good. And I'm not saying that always feel positive, because you have to embrace your dark side, if you say, or your bad days, or even your failures, your weaknesses, anything that happens. I say that I used to tell, trust me, telling all these things to you, still there are days, every day, there are moments when I do certain things, I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that? And then I tell myself, stop, don't repeat that again, and say that you have done this badly, you could have done this better. And I don't say those things. I rather say, fine, it happened, forget about it, move on, and next time try to do it better. So that's how you can do that. But I would say probably, I don't know, your diet, probably you know it better. So probably do some research on good diets. And also you'll find there are a lot of conditions. Certain food probably will make you feel in a certain way. Say some people have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Some people have, say, some kind of intolerance. It could be gluten, it could be lactose, like I'm lactose intolerant, which I found out quite later in my life. Because I used to mix my gym shake with milk, normal milk, and every time I would go to the gym, I would feel weird. And then I didn't even research at the time. I said, okay, I kept on changing my gym shakes all the time. And later on, at some point, I discovered that, okay, I'm lactose intolerant.
Well, I think that one thing that Sherry's saying here, just stop 1 second there. So, Selena, you have just made a massive start. Acknowledging how you feel, admitting you want support is amazing. And that goes with the positive message that you're talking about, also to yourself. And yes, that's very true. I mean, here you are on a live show, and just saying that, that's a whole step. It's a good step.
Yeah. And I'm so glad. Trust me, this is one of the reasons why knowing who you are is so important to me.
Yeah.
Say, I don't have to become some kind of guru. Knowing who you are doesn't have to become some kind of huge platform, but I want it to become big. Why? So we can come and talk and share and be fearless about our weaknesses. Like I share anytime, any failures, any weaknesses, anything you want to ask me about, I can share with you. Because the thing is that when you put it out there, you have nothing else to lose. Because when you're in fear every time, oh my God, what if they find out about this one in my life, that it happened, this negative episode of my life, then they will treat me in a certain way. They'll think about me in a certain way. When those fears out, I mean, when you take every fear out of your life, then only thing that can happen, positive things happen, and nothing can stop you. So why I'm saying this, because Hassan Sarwar, he mentioned, I suffer from bipolar disorder. I mean, it's a thing to admit. First of all, as Sherry said, always the starting point is when you accept it. And it's not about accepting. For him, it's a diagnosis too. So go through some very depressive phase. Mind mapping and journaling really helps me. So it's coming from someone who's going through it and who's doing it. So thanks for sharing, Hassan.
Yes. And he also says meditation, prayer is another thing that really grounds me and allows me to feel spiritually enlightened for a few minutes a day. Yeah, I do the same. Specifically meditation, even if it's just sitting there and just being there without anything else going on for a little while. It makes a huge difference. Yeah. And he's saying positive affirmations are also important. Absolutely.
And what Sherry said is so nice.
Yeah.
Selena, I have a copy of my book. I would love to send to you. If you would like to, please share with me via Ershad or Esther your postal address, and I'll send you a copy. It may help you with some ideas, new habits to support what you need now and in the future. Sherry, I didn't know she had written a book.
Amazing.
Great.
I love that.
Yeah, I would love to have a copy too.
We'll both do. We'll both
I'd like
read
to purchase.
it.
Tell me where I can find it. I'll definitely do
the name and where we can get it.
Yeah. Hassan Sarwar, positive affirmations are so important. So this is what we are talking about, rather than running a negative loop about yourself. Anything that is good in your life. I mean, I've seen the other day, because I like this guy, I keep on mentioning his book, Think Like a Monk, is one of the books that I love so much.
Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty's book.
Yeah.
He was saying, you sent this video to me, so he had a jar, and he's saying, every week, anything that happens, or throughout the week, something good happens, I'll put, it's like a stick-on pad.
He's like a little post-it note?
Post-it note.
So
he put it there in the jar, and then he'll build it up. And at the end of the year, he'll take one at a time and read out all the good things that have happened. I admit, we have a lot of bad things happening all day long, a lot of things, say physically, mentally, and some things that's totally out of your control. But it's end of the day, you can always find throughout the day some good moments. Just keep your eyes open, keep your mind's eye open as well, just to be mindful about them. You'll find, just think about them and be grateful about that thing. I mean, I have a lot of things that are running in my head. You have a lot of things that you probably are stressful or stressing about.
Yeah.
But end of the day, there's so many good things happening.
Yeah,
say, for example, I had a nice lunch, and Esther was telling me when I was getting ready for this live stream that, hey, and I was getting out of the shower, and she was saying, you like this. So even that word is so positive. I didn't know what she was cooking, what she was making, but I felt, oh my God, something exciting is coming. So even if I take this moment, saying that I'm grateful to my wife for this small moment, even she used those words, you like this, and she kept me anticipating about something nicer. That's a good moment, and I can write about this one end of the day.
Oh, good.
And then, definitely, it was a good thing because it made me feel good. The food I had is a salad she made with this, a chicken salad she made nicely, very nicely. But end of the day, I had a lot of plants. I had this protein and everything went, and I'm not feeling heavy. I'm feeling I'm totally light, but at the same time, I'm fed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a new thing where instead of make sure you have your 5 a day, you get your 15 a day.
Selena, replying to Sherry Hala, or Sherry, that would be so amazing. I would love to read it.
Oh,
it's very kind of you. Yeah, and Selena is a voracious reader, I know that.
Yes, she is. And then Sherry saying, my motto, live your truth. You cannot live your truth if you do not know who you are. Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, I'm so happy that knowing who you are, when I had chosen this blog, it was chosen nearly 3.5 years ago or 4 years ago. I bought this name, knowingwhoyouare.blog. I started the website. I was building it myself. I built it myself and everything I created. And during that time, I didn't know that this word would be such a buzzword, and it's an important thing. And I felt at the time that I have to know myself because I was going through certain phases in my life, and I wanted to know myself better, my weaknesses and the shortcomings that I had. I wanted to work on them. And now I'm also listening to the book by Matthew McConaughey. He's Green Lights. Lovely book. It's his bio, but he's very wise when he says certain things, how he does that. And it's fun to listen to him because he's reading it out. So I'm literally, it's like watching him act. It's really nice. And he knows how to say certain words and how to, you literally feel alive. So I feel now when Sherry said that know who you are, it's so important to me that I feel that this is, I feel grateful that I've chosen this name and something happened at the time. What I was thinking, I don't know. I designed that logo. Everything that you see on screen now, I had done it during that time, literally 4 years ago. But now we can resonate with this one, and like it doesn't have to be me, but it's through this platform we help each other. That's what I'm so grateful about.
It's good.
Yeah. Hassan Sarwar said, Ershad Bhai, what do you think about the effect of music on people's psychology? I have read some books on how different audio waves affect the brain in different ways.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's what I'm studying as well.
Alley.
That's my totally my research at the moment, and that's what I want to research on for my PhD. So the idea is, even when I'll just can give you some examples, people who have had huge accident, and they have a certain part of their brain, they have some kind of lesion, and due to that, their part of the brains are not active. Those areas of the brain probably is responsible for speech, or it's responsible for cognitive thinking, or in a way that you can anticipate that what's going to happen. You see things also for your directions. There are a lot of different areas work for different part of the brain, or how we react or how we act in our daily lives. So probably you can't speak properly because of that accident, but it had been found that they can still sing. So how music works and how music therapy is a big thing, because it's been found that I'm talking about, there is a certain person, there's a case in during that accident, she found that she couldn't speak anymore, and family was, and she's been trying a lot of speech therapy, a lot of things, because that part of the brain is not working at all. But one day what happened, one of her sister's birthday, and she started singing happy birthday. And
My God.
in nice proper pitch. I mean, she's not a singer, but how it should sound, it was sounding like that, and she could do it without any problem. So it was found that there are certain areas of the brain, and that can help improve or bring back your speech impediment. If you have that, it can cure that. I'm just giving you one example. And definitely music it connects with you, with your brain on different waves, because music is nothing but different sound bites, sound waves, and how those frequencies connect to our brain, and how, because our brain reacts to certain waves as well, certain brain waves. So that's why people listen to certain kind of sound. Say there are certain kind of beats, we say are regular beats, when we isometric beats. So when we listen to those, how people can fall asleep, because again, the brain waves you need to go back to the deeper level of sleep, it can be aligned. So yeah, it has definitely, music depends. But whatever kind of music, it makes you feel good, it's fine. It doesn't have to be always like slow, soothing, or sad or happy music. I mean, if that helps you, if that's death metal calms you down.
I was just going to say, I had a friend who would sleep at night with headphones on and like death metal going on.
Yeah.
It basically knocked him unconscious when he...
I don't know. I mean, for me, it doesn't work probably,
No,
because I
same
find
here.
it a bit too...
it's too interfering.
arousing.
Yeah.
But if that works for you, but end of the day, it's music. You're talking about the sound waves.
Fascinating.
Binaural beats, yeah. I use them as well as white noise. Exactly. Yeah. Isometric, binaural beats, it's another thing people, because you feel literally the music is not stereo rather than right and left. It's here behind you, it's all around you. It's like you're surrounded in that music. Durdana Ansari, Captain Durdana Ansari of the Royal Navy. Welcome both of you. Yes. Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Oh, I love all of our people. It's so nice.
I mean, such contribution.
Yeah,
It's
really,
amazing.
really good. It's
And
fantastic.
Sherry, I cannot thank you enough.
I know.
Today, Sherry, I'm going to share this one.
Yes.
When I was getting ready, I was dressing up, and because we were planning to go out after the live stream. At the time, I was thinking, I'll do the show whether Sherry will join. Trust me, I'm not saying that just because you're here. And I was thinking whether Sherry will join, because every time I say something, where I finish, she picks up from there. She adds something even more to it, that which I probably didn't know, or I forgot, or I lapsed, or some of the areas that I'm not familiar with. But she would add to that, because she's a practicing mindset coach or a life coach. And she's helping a lot of our clients. She has written a book, which I found out today as well.
Nice.
So it's so amazing. And we have this community, and it's slowly building up. And I'm so grateful that I have the support of all these people who join and who trust this platform, and who trust us as well, trust me as well. And that's how I'm trying to bring other people in the platform who just come and share their expertise, like I had been doing the last few years. And Durdana Ansari, she had been one of our guests. She has a very illustrious life, very productive person, even at this point of her life. And she has joined the Royal Navy a couple of years back, and now she's a captain. She is ever more proactive, busy. But this year, she said that she'll be more creative as well, because she sings really nicely.
Yeah, she does.
She has a great voice.
Yeah.
So
she actually is on the second interview that Ershad ever did on the Knowing Who You Are podcast.
Very nice of her.
And it tells the story of her incredible life, and the achievements are just beyond exciting.
And she used to work for BBC World Service
Yeah,
as
she's
well.
an OBE as well.
I'm not going to say for how many years. Last time we messed it up. 30 years, 20 years, I forgot. But yeah.
Yeah, you got a virtual slap on the wrist at the time. I remember that.
And Durdana Ansari, she says the new year looks active and alive with your presence.
Thank you.
Very nice
yes.
of you. Always
yeah,
very
we
kind.
are alive and active, and all the more forward with you connected to us.
And Hassan added, I have a really weird habit. I listen to airplane engine noises to go to sleep, okay? I think that it has something to do with my regular flights. Yeah, that's what you're talking about, white noise kind of thing. Because white noise is more like a static sound when all the frequencies are present. And there's nothing masked, that none of the frequencies are missing, so all of them are there. But they're rather pleasant noise. You can always look for pink noise as well, if you want. I think that it has something to do with my regular flights to Bangladesh when I was younger. And for me, it's like a safe place. Oh, very, very nice. It's a good point. I have discussed this with my therapist, though. She thinks it may have something to do with my mother vacuuming a lot while I was in the womb.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have heard about that before.
As you're talking about a safe place or place of comfort.
Yeah.
And mother's womb, you're falling asleep. It all makes complete sense.
When I was little, I remember one of my first gifts when I was 6 years old was a little radio. And it was one of those, like, you have to literally find the channel. And every night I would fall asleep to someone calling out numbers in a bingo. 5, 5, 5, 6. It was in Dutch at the time. And I remember...
I'm falling asleep.
And my parents, I never understood it either, but it was something that I would have, and it was like an elderly gentleman who, in Dutch, 7, 7.
It reminds me, we went to recently, as you know, that we had this amazing trip to Holland where we went to North Sea.
Nice.
And we were in a boat, like a proper Dutch boat. Old style.
Sailing boat.
And in that big, huge sailing boat, it was with their family. But on our way, we stayed with our uncle in Belgium. So it's a huge house, amazing house. And in that house, the amazing feature, that's my most favorite one, is that he has somehow managed to connect a small radio from the 80s in his bathroom. So, and it's tuned to a particular channel of the 80s classic rock.
Yeah.
So the moment you turn the switch on, the music starts playing because it's plugged in to that socket, that the socket would get activated and the radio would be on straight away. So in the morning when I'd go for shower or even for bathroom, toilet or whatever, I'm just getting into that space. It's also so nicely kept.
Yeah.
You feel that it's almost a room. Yeah. It's a huge bathroom. And the music. So I feel that your memory of that sound, I miss that sound. Like every time I would go, sometimes I would just go there and sit there.
And I was wondering, I used to think, is he okay? Because he was in the bathroom for quite a long time.
But I would just sit there in that space with all this music, because I grew up listening to all this 80s rock music. I had always been, a rocker, a blueser.
Yeah.
So I listened to this music, and whenever I go to that space, and it brought back my memories of my childhood, where I was really happy, I would say. So thankfully enough, to my parents and also to my upbringing and my childhood had been blissfully quite... I have nothing to report apart from my teacher when I was in nursery or my grade 1. He was so strict, and I had gotten a lot of spanking as well. And I mean, he would take the ruler and just do it here. Aww. I mean, people from South Asia, you would know, so don't get alarmed. That made me who I am. And after that, my good results and everything at school is all, I owe it to him. But I used to scare him like how should I put it? Like the devil himself. Yeah.
Well, as a result now during our breakfast, very often in the morning while I'm making breakfast, I actually found a whole bunch of YouTube recordings of the 80s, like 80s radio shows that have the classic rock. So we have it playing in the kitchen while I make breakfast, and we'll have it playing while we eat, just as a little nod to my uncle's bathroom.
Yeah. No, he was a doctor.
He's great. I mean,
he's a retired doctor, but he had dedicated his life, sometimes even probably less time to his family he could give, but he spent so much time to his patients.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that dedication among doctors probably these days. I feel probably even in Bangladesh, no offense to anyone, but the practice of medicine, sometimes I feel like it has become so commercial and it's so money driven. But he knows all the people in his area, and still he was here for Christmas.
Yeah.
When we were talking, someone called him from Belgium just to wish him Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. So things like that he would go out any time of the day, they would call him. You might remember doctors like that. I remember family physicians like that. When you can call them any time or day or night, they would just come back with that black bag they would carry with them. So same thing, he reminds me of that. And doctors were like that. And I feel we need more doctors like that, because we rely on them, and they're the saviors. I'm very happy to have very fortunate to have some friends who are doctors, so they'd help me with my parents' treatment with their eyes, heart, whatever I needed. And I had a lot of departments. I have all those doctors. So thanks to my friends, but still I feel we need more passion-driven and also purpose-driven doctors.
It was also amazing being there, and he would take us out for dinner and stuff, and we'd be there, and he would literally know everyone that was in the local restaurant. In fact, most of the teenagers, most of the children, most of the sort of even in sort of late 20s were all people that he had helped in labor, like he had helped bring into this world. And it was one of those like, oh yeah, I helped give birth to him, and then and when he retired, he had 2,000 patients. Yeah. That's when he retired. So
like 2,000 patients that it was fixed.
Yeah,
that he's looking after them.
So
so basically he was related to the parents. Then sometimes he delivered the babies for the parents, and then the kids, when they grew up, they got married. And they had their
kids
first
as well.
child. Yeah.
So
he knew 3 generations. Amazing.
And I remember as a kid going to Belgium when we were there, all times of the day and night, you would see his car race by because he would leave down the driveway. And I mean, he's an absolute speed demon. I think
I still see that.
Oh God, the guy can drive. I mean, like, I've been with him in a car. I've been with him on a motorbike, and he loves he loves to get it to a place in time.
Sherry has a nice message here. I do believe that when we live our lives with our eyes open, we will attract those who will support, guide, share, and make this world a better place, one friendship at a time. Very nice. Each time I come on here, I leave with a joy in my heart.
Aww.
The community and sharing you have built up here is so, so necessary. True.
Yeah.
Learning from each other is the best sharing we can experience. Thank you for your friendship.
Oh,
Thanks
you.
to you too, Sherry.
Amazing.
The support, I've known her for many years, but she has enriched my life. Sherry, you have enriched my life, our lives.
Yeah.
And you keep on doing it. Yes. I mean, I know that when I knew her first, it was through my work.
Yeah.
We didn't have that much communication. But now what we have, it's very special.
It's really nice. And here I am. I was supposed to be on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I've probably missed
You just stay on, we'll
I'm
finish
going to
it
just
with
stay
you.
till the end. I've missed
Yeah.
the appointment now. It's okay.
Can I throw a spanner in the works to the conversation? I have noticed a lot of youth have started to follow Andrew Tate and his misogynistic ideology.
Yeah.
What do you think about Andrew Tate and his surge in popularity?
Well,
It's not for me to say, but the
No.
thing is, I would say only one thing. Practice what you preach.
yeah.
And recently, I don't know, it could be totally, I'm running a little bit of risk. I just came across a video and also a news piece where I saw that he's in a prison van, that he's been taken in for 32 days. And it's a raid that had happened to his house in Bucharest, Romania. So in Romania, wherever he's living, something happened, and they have this whole ring of this business they do. You can find out about this one online. So they found something there. And I feel that whatever he's doing, his source of financial freedom and the wealth that he has, it's in open public, and people can do some research and find out about this. But the thing is that the misogynistic idea that you have spoken about, I mean, in this modern day and age, I still see, it's very sad to see that in certain countries, not only in Asia, there is a certain way of there's certain attitude you'll see that people have towards women, and they're still treated. One thing I will accept, that there is a difference among men and women. You can't deny that, but they have their own strength, and men, they have their own strength and weaknesses, and women, they have their own strengths and weaknesses. I'm talking about physiologically, and definitely it has some connections, end up being connected to your mental conditioning as well, and your priming. But just to say that everything is equal, it doesn't make sense to me, because it won't be equal. It can't be equal, because we are different species. I mean, same species, but we branched out differently, and there is a reason why for reproduction you need this two different subcategories from this different chromosomes from this from this species.
You need a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So there's a difference. That's why we need that. So these are things. So I won't get into that conversation, because some people might totally misinterpret this part, and you might get a small chunk somewhere out there, and Ershad said this one.
Yeah.
But as I would say, the misogynistic behavior, and sometimes I've seen that how they're treated, and how you see, say for example, like in our house, we co-manage the house. She works, I work. The finances, they get contribute towards the household. But I manage the finance, I mean how it would be distributed and go to places, that I take care of that, which Esther, but she helps in the household. When in the financial contribution, she has contribution, but in the management, I'm taking care of that. But when it comes to managing the house, most of the time it's not me who's doing it. Say most of the time I don't know what we are planning for lunch, dinner, the shopping, the grocery shopping, and everything is happening, and how the house is managed and the cleaning routine. But I help her, because this is in my gene as well, that I'd like to be in a cleaner space. And I understand that I'm quite independent and well managed, because I spend time on my own for a long time. So, and I'm also her teacher for cooking.
Yes.
So, but the thing is, I never think, don't take it for granted that she's doing it just because she's a woman. She's doing it because she, at the moment, has the time. But there are times when she's at work and I'm home earlier. Those days, I cook. If I have to do certain things, and she would even call me and text me, can you take care of that one? Can you just put the laundry there? And can you take the laundry out? Can you just do anything? So I feel that when we divide the works, even in a house management situation scenario, when we divide our work and we're thinking it's a man's job, it's a woman's job, that's where problem starts. Even though I would still maintain that we are different. A man and a woman is different. They have different strengths, different weaknesses. But they can coexist very nicely. And because a man has certain weaknesses, a man cannot bear a child, right? Which they can. It's I would say it's a wonder of nature how they can do it. so which we can't do ever in life, right?
It's true.
No. So there are certain things, these are like clear distinctions.
Yeah.
So you have to respect that part and never take for granted anything that you see around and whatever your culture tells you, whether it's in Bangladesh, India, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's some part of England or America. I've seen even in America as well. America we talk about, but there are certain parts in America where women are treated like literally weaklings, and they're like, okay, they have to be always in the fear of the man of the house or because he's the head of the house. So I've seen this even in America. So let's not talk about just Bangladesh or Pakistan or
No,
India.
because I
So
think
it happens everywhere in
every
the world.
country
So
will
it's
have
very
its own.
important to
it's a kind of person.
see eye to eye and also accept that where you lack, where say I lack, Esther comes in, she fills up, and where she lacks, I go and help her. Say, for example, she finds it quite mind-boggling sometimes when she has to deal with all these financial situations, like when you have to go and deal with this situation, when you have to deal with this bill, this company, and that.
Yeah.
You can do it,
Sure.
but you don't feel that comfortable.
No, and you're just like, yeah,
So I just do it.
exactly, yeah.
I mean, if I couldn't, probably she would have that strength and she would have helped me.
Yeah.
But
I would have
since I
learned.
can do it,
Yeah.
and she does. For her own business, she does her tax returns. I don't
Yeah.
do it. So these are different. That's what I'm saying. That when someone teaches in a way, I think we need mutual respect in the society, the exploitative mentality. Because the other day I overheard a conversation. I'll end with this one. It was between two girls, and one of them was my colleague. She has done her master's in a certain subject from a very reputed university in London. And she met one of her classmates, her ex-classmates or something. She is working for a museum in London. And at the time, she just casually said, the other girl, said, I'll just try to find a wealthy husband, and I'll just try to, and in a very casual way. So this mentality, it sounded so wrong to me. I said she had done her master's from a very reputed university in London. And this is the mindset that you are thinking, it's exploitative mindset that, okay, that rich person. So it's not based on love or care or affection or to respect for that person. It's the respect for the money. So what happens when the money is gone or the wealth is gone someday? Then you will leave that person. So I'm just giving you an example. So I think mutual respect is important, be it men or women towards each other. It's very important. So this is something I practice, Esther practices, and we believe in that. And we always do that. And there are times when I would say even if I feel that, which Esther didn't take notice of, I would go to her and say, hey, I'm sorry. I reacted that way, or I answered this thing towards you, or I replied in a certain way, which I don't like my tone of voice. Probably I was a little tired, and at the time, suddenly something, as I said, we always have our weaknesses and shortcomings. So if I did that, I would say sorry. It's not that someone is a woman, they have to accept. So a lot of interesting comments are coming. Let's see.
While you're reading that, I wanted to quickly say something that that I was brought up with, because obviously I'm originally from Holland, and I remember discussing with my grandfather, my father's father, who was a teacher, the subject of equal rights, and he says, well, because he was trying to explain to me the simplicity of equal rights, and what happened is that he said, look, take you and your brother. Both of your bodies are not built the same way. If you wanted to take a ball and throw it straight up, you wouldn't be able to do it because your shoulders are hinged in a certain way where you can't, whereas the guy physically can. When you want to have a child one day, you can, and he won't. However, if both of you want to be the director of this company and you both want to be, making, let's say, I think you used cars at the time, like you both want to be the director of a car company that brings new cars into the world, you both have an equal opportunity to learn and an equal opportunity to take charge. And depending on your competence and your knowledge, that's what will give you the position, not because you're male or female.
Exactly.
And he just gave it was so simple, but it stuck with me always. And yes, it's nice when, you go through a door and a gentleman goes, please go first. There's nothing sexist about it. It's good manners. It's old school. I think most of us do like that.
Even at work, there are times when I hold the door for my female colleagues, but there had been times, like yesterday, a situation happened when there had been an accident. Two of my colleagues, both are females, they came running and said, "Oh my God, what happened? Let me help you." And they helped me with that. And I could have said, "Oh, no, I don't need any help because I'm the man."
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's not logical.
Just human being. That's how you look at it. And Selena mentioned something very rightly so and very nicely. Men have feminine and masculine traits, and women have feminine and masculine traits. True.
Yeah.
But problem is, in practice, we tend to forget that because we've been our culturation in such a way, and our culture would teach us that, okay, as a man, you're not supposed to show your emotions. You're not supposed to cry. You shouldn't have tears in your eyes. Even my mother once said that when I was young, I used to get emotional very quickly. Even when my high school teachers say we had this religion teachers for religious studies, he had smacked me with his long cane from quite far. And it touched me. I came home. And I was in my 8th grade. I was quite grown up at the time. But I felt very embarrassed and insulted probably that someone just did that even without me knowing. And I got very surprised, startled. I came home and I told my mom. And while I was telling her, I literally had some tears in my eyes. And she said, "No, don't cry always. All the time, don't cry." I mean, with all due respect to her, I feel that she probably didn't know. And that was the culture she grew up in as well, where she learned that men shouldn't cry. But we are human being, and we have all those glands that produce tears. And same thing. So what would you use that for? Yeah. So if you can't cry sometimes, if you don't shed tears. I mean, there are times when we watch certain movies.
We're terrible.
Esther is a champion. I'm a runner-up. So I would first look at her. There are moments I know when tears would start trickling down her cheeks.
It's so true.
And because it's happening to me too.
Yeah.
And we cry in each other's presence.
Yeah.
Profusely.
And the worst thing is that obviously I start crying and then you're like looking at me, like watching. Is it happening? Is it happening?
And she's like, "It's not right. It's very bad." I said, "No, I'm just checking because I have already started crying if you're crying too." Because we align in that department.
We cried the other night listening to a beautiful rendition of the Bangladesh national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because I have never listened to the national anthem of my country like that before. That day we are lying down in bed and I was trying to explain to her the song and the music. There are certain people who sang it with some emotion, with such emotion.
Yeah.
It literally brought tears in my eyes. And I was thinking, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And I remember when I was in high school, because when I was in primary school, we used to just sing first four lines. But when I went to my high school, there was a long play record. They're just attached to a mic, a speaker. And they would play through those big mics they used to use back in the days in the 90s. So first time I listened to the national anthem, the full version of it, and I realized, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And it's very funny if I share with you now. I was on my 6th grade, and from that day onwards, we always wouldn't have that assembly line. We have to stand, and the national anthem would be played. So it didn't happen every day. So there would be days I would wait. I said, when can I listen to that song again? Because it wasn't the age of YouTube, internet. Nothing happened. I mean, internet wasn't even there at the time when I was on my 6th grade. So I would wait for that. So the long play record would be played and I could listen to the full version. There are certain parts of our national anthem. I would suggest anyone who hasn't, please type Bangladesh National Anthem. Amazing. You can find an original version. I would say listen to the black and white or the old version of it. It's a beautiful song. Sherry Harlow, it's all about being an individual first. The balance you build with others in your life will always work best. If you take on what makes you thrive, your partner takes on what makes them thrive. True. Also, then anything left over you share. True. I'll share a very interesting idea in this respect. Male and female does not need to come into it. Exactly. Child brain aside, to be honest, the boys would be hopeless with that. Can you imagine man flu comes to mind? Here we are all built differently. Yeah. Every culture has issues and we are all in position to be educators and not correctors. Respect each other's differences and love each other's similarities.
Yeah,
true?
Very true.
Very true.
Nice.
And I definitely, Sherry, you know about Brené Brown. Brené Brown, she's a PhD, I think, in sociology. I think that's her degree. But she has these amazing books, and during this TED Talk, this is a very famous TED Talk. Many of of our listeners or viewers probably have watched that already. But there's one idea she shared, how she manages her relationship with her husband. So
Yes.
they have a scale of 100%.
Yeah.
So they would come home. There are days when the husband would come and say, hey, look, I just have 20% today. So can you fill up the rest of the 80%? And she would say, I don't have 80%. I probably can give 50. So it's like 50% she's contributing on that day. She's helping through motivation, mentally. And if she needs to help him with some work or something, she can do 50% because she had a hard day too. And he can only give 20. So they agree that, okay, we have 70% in total today, so we have to make do with that. I love that idea. And one day they would come home and they say, hey, I feel like 70%. What do you feel like? And she's like, yeah, I feel great too. I feel I'm an 80%. So that's great. They're having a good day. But it works both ways. Some days she can have a very high percentage. Some day he's low or he's high, she's low. But that's how you share. And you have to be compassionate. Like the last 11 days, when Esther is not herself, it affects me in a different way. Because I can cook, I'm cooking food, I can do everything in the household.
You can go on full autopilot.
I can manage the whole household blindfolded.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I miss the companionship. And when I see her like that, a certain part of me get turned off totally. I mean, I'm not always being joking around and doing things because I know that she's not feeling well. She can't probably handle it. I tend to forget those things.
And when he says turned off, he doesn't mean like turned off of me. It's literally just like switch off.
Yeah, it's switched
like
off.
Emotion, action, sort of like, and I've often in the past said that before. I hate it when I'm ill. It's like you disappear.
Yeah,
and
I have this serious face. I'm not joking
you just
around.
go into
because normally what I
automatic.
do, yeah. So these other things, because we thrive on each other, and partnership is like this.
Yeah.
So it's very important to accept the differences, similarities. To be honest, I don't see those things. I normally, for me, few things I don't understand. Religious differences. When people say Jew, Christians, Muslim, Hindus, Buddhist, or any religion you compare with, I don't understand these things, to be honest. It doesn't make sense to me. Whatever you want to say, you want to convince me, I don't get those ideas. I don't get the idea that Esther has a different color and Esther is from a different country. I just know that I know this person and this is her personality. And thankfully she's like that too. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be together anyway. But the thing is, this is what we have to learn to accept, that in this world we coexist even with other creatures as well. Animals, human beings. We are just all alive. And all these divisions, all these differences, we created ourselves. Call it race, call it color, call it religion. All these different things. It's man-made. And we, through, I mean, I don't know how it happened, how all these ideas get implanted in our brain that we get so dogmatic. So I think we have to come out of that. Even we had to create this word, misogyny, because we had this some kind of misogynistic behavior towards women, and that's when someone had to create that word. Just think about it. It wasn't given to us from wherever you come from. You weren't born with this. You didn't know this word. You had to learn that. So that's what I'm saying, that if we can avoid certain things in our lives, life becomes even beautiful. Yeah.
Sorry, we just got a lot of amazing messages coming in.
Oh
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah. And David says, I know someone who doesn't feel good to go for any job. She is advising her daughter that get married to someone who has good job, so you don't have to go to work. I was really speechless seeing this mentality.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, if you're telling someone don't work, their morale is going to suck. I mean, everyone likes working in the end of the
working,
day.
one thing. You are asking someone to become dominated by someone else, right?
Yeah.
You're asking someone to be under someone's dominion.
Yeah.
And then you are at the same time, you're going to ask, okay, I want my equal rights. How is that possible? You are taking someone as your master, saying that you will be responsible for my maintenance. You'll be responsible for everything in my life. Look, in love and partnership and in a relationship, husband and wife will look after each other. Fine. But I'm saying when someone's willingly saying, okay, I give myself to you, but for everything I give up all my power as a human being, which I could have done for myself, my independence, just because I'm not willing to do that. So if you have willingly given that one up, how can you ask that one back? You cannot, because you have given that right up.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with that kind of mentality. I literally cannot approve of that. And I've seen that because unfortunately in our countries and in South Asia as well, I've seen that many times people get good degrees. Many women I know in our society as well. I mean, it's a nice thing now. You see many huge workforce who are women. But still, there are pockets you'll see in the society that where women, they have a master's degree in certain subject. But then at the same time, they're saying, you're responsible to look after me, you're responsible to do these things for me. So does it mean that when that man, for some reason, suffer from some kind of, say he has an accident and he cannot go to work, or he had been laid off, so wouldn't he get the support from the women? Or then he would be left alone? I mean, I don't know how does it work, but also, why did you get your degree? Why did you study if you don't feel that you have the independence to support yourself? Anyway, that's a different conversation, but you probably can get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And also, Selena says, also, as everyone has the knowledge of the menstrual cycle, but men have a cycle too, which is very interesting. If you observe, men also have up and down moods. This sometime I didn't know in school, I think. Selena, explain that one better.
Yeah.
I think up and down mood we always have every day, every other day.
Yeah, it depends what's going on in
But
life as well.
hormonal imbalance.
Hormonal imbalance,
because your menstrual cycle, that definitely, it coincides with some kind of hormonal imbalance, and that's what causes a lot of the outburst you see. But
never happens.
Never happens. Yeah, I know. She just gets emotional.
I cry about everything.
So, but
speaking of which, Sarah says I always cry at the anthem. I always cry when I hear the anthem, the goosebumps. I know. I mean, it's the best.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It doesn't have to be a certain time of the month.
No.
You cry any day. But for us, I mean, for me as well, the thing is that I think, again, I think it's about the diet as well. I would, again, blame it, because your hormonal imbalance has something to do with, if you're talking about men, what they're eating, what their dietary habit is, it would affect their mood. And again, you'll feel that displaying through anger or however they're behaving. I always cry, when I hear the goosebumps. Daring Greatly. Yeah, that's the book. Brené Brown's book. One of the books, Daring Greatly. That's a great book. So, okay, guys, we have had an amazing time.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we didn't, we received a message. I don't know who sent a message. But the number was there throughout. No one called, but it was a great chat. I loved that.
Yeah, me too.
So we had a great start of the podcast. So as I was saying, she might not risk it next time sitting here for 15 minutes, because it might not happen, because it was a great time.
No, it was not. And I always do love doing the show. That's the point. I just, if I can't, I don't want to stop him from doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we were here. We're supposed to be here for an hour, but now, because we want to go out for a walk, it's a lovely day. Lovely.
We're supposed to do some
as
shopping.
Much as you can get in a winter.
Clothes, probably.
No, it's fine. I mean, we'll go out.
This is
we'll
so much more worth
it's
anything.
A weekday.
It's so much more worth anything. Fantastic.
So we'll have we'll try to enjoy the evening, because there's more to it now. We had our lunch. I hope anyone who's in London, you are in the same time zone, so you'll do something interesting for the rest of the evening. And Sherry, all the best luck.
And get well soon.
Get well soon. And I hope you feel better soon as well. But thanks for everything that you have shared with us today.
Yeah.
The nuggets of information, nuggets of wisdom. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Hassan Sarwar, lovely to see you guys. Hope to see you soon. Definitely.
And thank you for your input also.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
Fact, everyone.
Yeah. And I would like to see you all next week. I'll let you know which time of the week I'll be here and which day. I'll let you know, give you some notice so you can get ready and we can join. So that's the only thing you have to put up with me in the meantime because there are a lot of things going on. Okay, in terms of before I end, everyone shared their resolution. My plan is this year, everything that has been good in my life, be it music from my childhood and my workout regime, looking after myself, be it food habits and also physically stay healthy. I've been doing it, so it's there. I'll just keep on maintaining it. And growth-wise, I want to grow more in a sense that going through that discomfort, as I was mentioning, that is coming mid-year. I'll have to go for this 2-month training when I'll be away from home. And I will be living with strangers, complete strangers. I mean, even though some of them will be there, but it will be from throughout the country, from different parts of the country. They'll be coming in that academy, Royal Naval College. So I'll be staying with them. And I'm looking forward to making a lot of friends. I'm looking forward to learning from a lot of people. I'm looking forward to grow definitely through the learning and also going through this discomfort on the other side. I'll become a stronger person. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely.
So, and everything that I've left off, like the podcast, it's all about, for me, rather than picking up more new habits, I have already done so many I've picked up along the way up to this point of my life. I'll just pick up on those rather than learning something new, but you can't help it. When you have this open mind, you keep on learning every day from everything. So that's my goal for this year. And also I want to read more and I want to write, and I wanted to start writing a book, which I started last year, but it's fits and starts and on and off. But I want to be regular on that. And I hope you guys, all the tips and also the brain hacks, the neural hacks that you heard or listened to today, probably you'll make use of them and start practicing. Just don't make a list of 10 things you want to start. Just start with one thing at a time and do small chunks. Just don't intimidate yourself. Don't tire yourself out. Don't stress yourself out thinking that, oh my God, that's a hard thing. If you make yourself think that that's a hard work, you won't do it. You'll give it up probably after a week. So make it interesting for yourself, something that you enjoy. So anything that you want to do for 5 minutes. If you don't feel like, give it up, but do it. Show up. That's the main idea. Okay, on that note, have a great day and hope to see you soon next week.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Great night. Great